Do we have demos by chance?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So we have a demo from, it's Mark who said something.
Yeah.
Mark. He will show something agents, I think, because you commented on my PR. So I believe that will be that. We'll see.
Yep.
Do we have other demos? Maybe. Will we have topics? Probably. Once. Okay, so status, click. Orchard 1, nothing's happening. Benedek is in vacation. And Gabor too, by the way.
Orchard 1 is on permanent vacation.
But Gabor was on vacation before Benedek. And before Milan. Okay. Orchard Core, what should I? So this is the update this morning. I moved the files, and then when was it? 27 here. This is the orange line or the red line. The red line. Remove area labeled by. Oh, we saw that. No. Okay. I clicked 27 here. Index records in the background. We didn't triage this one, meaning review it during triage. 1870-41.
Maybe Mike can tell more about this issue, but in general, moving the indexing into the background has revealed some issues, how we reset and rebuild the index. And this PR fixes them all. It's about a concurrency issue, because if you rebuild the index and simultaneously you have some editing going on, it's all messed up. And by locking everything, this is fixed. We noticed this by having a flaky test that is failing randomly.
Is it locking or is it
locking,
backgrounding?
not locking?
Because it's two different things. You can not background and lock, and you can background without locking. So if the
there's two things, okay? So first issue is that before this PR, you used to say rebuild the index, and it will do it while the page is spinning, right? And sometimes, yes, but then if you have a really large index, it could take a long time. So that indexing or the synchronization process should be in the background, so that
this is not the only solution.
Well, okay, so this is the solution that we provided. So we're synchronizing in the background. That's number one. Now, when we did that exposed an issue with one of the tests we had. It kept on randomly failing. It would work most of the time, but then every now and then it would fail. spent a lot of time digging, and then we ended up doing locking to prevent multiple recipes from doing more, basically doing management to the index, and it fixed the problem.
Was it about the index, the Lucene index timeout or lock file? I got
No, it was
some flaky.
we create the site, and then we
This
create
one?
we add a content item to it. So we're expecting 2 content items, and every now and then it will see only 1. It won't see 2, or sometimes it will see 2 and it would pass, and it's because of a timing issue.
Yeah, but additionally to that, there were some random exceptions thrown inside. For example, the Lucene search engine, where you get some weird dispose exception, and this is all fixed by the same procedure here, as far as I can tell.
Correct. Yeah.
The changes. Content indexing service. Why is that a distributed lock? Okay. This is not just about Lucene. The Lucene doesn't need the distributed lock. But Elastic might need the distributed lock.
No, the whole process is locked to a single node if you have multiple distributed system.
Yeah, because it's a distributed lock. What I meant is that Lucene doesn't care about looking because
a single machine can process all of this.
Which is it's fine, because if you use Lucene and you click rebuild, you don't know what you get because it will only apply on one machine, even if before, after, during, whatever. Lucene just updates its local index, so there is no way to get it working correctly with multiple nodes. So it's a problem.
Even if you have multiple nodes, it should be stored in one place.
No, not with Lucene. That's not how Lucene works. Well, on Azure websites, yes, but by design, Lucene works locally and it's not meant to be used in a distributed manner. Azure websites being an exception because it uses a shared file system. So, but it's not a problem. It's a problem, but not a problem because it's not supported. We don't support Lucene to work on different machines, so that's fine. So this is good. I distributed lock, okay.
You should probably look into OpenSearch, by the way. So if you want to have a search implementation that does support multiple servers, and it's not something proprietary like Elasticsearch or Azure AI Search, which is not just proprietary but Azure specific, OpenSearch is the next best thing.
Well, didn't they create it because Elasticsearch went not open source, and then Elasticsearch became open source again because of that?
It did. I wasn't aware of that. Isn't it like partially source opened, but not really open source?
I don't remember. I know they reverted what they did because they realized nobody would use Elasticsearch anymore. I don't know. So, someone will search, but the only knowledge I have is that they changed course. We'll see.
Indeed, it is open source, at least open core.
Okay. So where is the logic here? Here is just the lock, and then Same code, that's the same code, that's the same code. The same code up to there, and then there is this thing, index events, which is the same thing here. So now there is looking. Okay, so this is just looking on Elasticsearch. And it says if not is locked, meaning you didn't acquire the lock. And then say nothing to do. Okay. So there will still be an issue if the indexing takes more than 15 minutes. Because then you acquire a lock that should not be acquired. Okay, so that's here, and that's just looking. So it's not background so far. I'm seeing.
No, this is not the background here. The background is triggered by the handler.
Oh, let me check then the handler, because here you see the scene, but that's fine. That should be the same thing. And you say the handler like this, rebuild index async. Which was there in the handler. So if I look at the handler, this one, not this one, this one.
Oh,
So
this one. No, there's another one. This one just basically calls it without deferred manner because the handler itself is resolved in a background. Look at that manager. I think it might be the yeah, right there. See how now we resolve that handler in the background and then we trigger it.
Can we see the progress of this task here?
No.
In the UI, there is so, and this is something we did.
No, this is some fire and forget task.
Yep.
It is. Yeah, these HTTP background job is not the best module in Orchard, but it's existing for years now.
Okay.
George is going to be working on it to improve it next. Either George or Copilot, one of those two.
Yeah.
No, I think we have it,
but
if, so maybe watch the. So this is what I did right for the security module, the secrets module. I watched the previous meetings. I Googled and queried Lombiq site for all the meetings we had about secrets module, and I watched them to understand what it was doing and what we said we should do. And we said what we should do for HP background job to be able to see what's happening with Jean-Thierry. And from what I remember is that we just need a UI to show these things and to show this, so to let these things be able to expose the status. And the UI will just list all the running jobs and their status and history and logs. in the UI because something is running.
This is more to be done. This is the theoretical solution, but currently this is just a fire and forget task that is running. There's nothing that collects them or no progress at all. So this has to be added.
Okay. Yeah, probably some more services. But yeah, we've had these meetings before.
Some job queue would be awesome.
So if you can watch or get a summary from, like, you can even send AI to the YouTube video and tell it, give me a summary of the things, like what to do, what needs to be done, and because it was well designed, the solution we wanted to implement.
And if someone wants to do that too, we also should have a way to manually trigger a background. Right now, you have that UI for the background tasks, but you can disable them. But we don't have a way to say, hey, trigger it now. It triggers on schedule, but it'll be nice to say trigger it now because I want it to run it now.
Okay.
In case Copilot wants to do something. The Copilot is listening now.
Okay, so this mitigates the issue because it's not on the request. What it fixes is the locking, which is nice. So you can't mess up and trigger twice the thing and you get a notification. About the long running, it's still long running, but in the background, so your request is not blocked. The caveat is that we don't see what's happening, so we don't know if it's done or not. We can just expect it to be
and
done.
There's actually another PR that's still out there for making it resilient, because right now, if it fails, through exception, we're in trouble. It just stops.
Okay.
There's another PR that hopefully will auto retry and stuff like that.
So yeah, ideally for indexing, it will be in the indexing views to show the current indexing process and the status, like 3 out of 150, 10 out of 150, and so on. So you can see the progress in the UI. That would be ideal. And even in the background. And otherwise, not using a background, we could also have kept the thing using the request, but showing the progress, like just calling the server or doing Ajax to say index 10 items and then update the UI to say 10 items were updated, index 10 more items, and so on. The same way we did in Orchard 1, the upgrade thing. So we can see a progress. It's not the background, it's just driven by the client, and that could have been also a solution. Okay, so let's talking about this. It's merged, it's working. Until we have a better solution. It's already better than what we have. Preserve fields when welding parts in ContentElement. Welding. Okay, it was overwriting the existing data. So you would do anything. Now we are saying merged, not replace. Okay. And there is a test. Good. Did someone report this issue?
Yes.
Do we trust
I think
someone?
it was Sarah which reported this, and I just did a quick check here, and yeah, this is only for the weld method. But yes.
Add dynamic cache options doc. Cache options. What is that? 4 options. That's the wrong. Okay. Enabled with cache debug mode. Okay. This is a drop. No, this is not a drop down. This is just in the settings. No, there is a drop down. And the drop down explains just does the name and not the explanation. Okay. Allow resolving all ISearchService instances. ISearchService instances. By type. Okay. Okay. Right to left from Sayed Long, a very old PR that triggered issues on our side, and now it's fixed and it's merged. And we should have a new contributor here. Remove enable property from dynamic cache. What? Oh, it's not used. What is that? Enabled. Remove enabled property from dynamic cache tag helper. Okay, doesn't make sense because when you use a tag helper, you always want enabled.
Yes, and you can disable the cache all at once in the admin.
Okay. Update non-breaking dependency versions, always the same ones. Update Elasticsearch. JSONPath.net. Should we talk about it? Zoltan, I think I pinged you about it, or did I?
No, I just commented about it under the pull request.
Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, you commented on this pull request. Okay, I see, because I didn't see that comment.
Yeah, I think we should downgrade that one now.
Why?
Well,
yeah.
Yes and no. So first, I'm not sure it's related to a specific version. Is it? Does anyone know, has a proof that it's related to a specific version and not all the versions? I think it's for all the versions, because the notification I saw was not related to a specific version. And I talked about it. So the Aspire team talked about it because we also use in Aspire JSON schema.net, which is the same, from the same author and the same umbrella with the same license as JSONPath.net. So yes, we could just revert and not upgrade, and maybe that will be the solution, but I don't think it's the case. I see some people chatting. Okay, not related. Then, because I really understand the implication of that, because I saw some message from a lawyer explaining the thing, from the lawyer who wrote the license for the guy. So the idea is that, and that's very simple. The idea is that any project which directly reference JSONPath.net, like we do, not transitively, meaning anyone using Orchard not referencing JSON.NET Path directly, but through Orchard. So anyone who directly references JSONPath.net should pay a $10 fee per company or per project. Okay. So per year, I think. Per month, I'm not sure. Something like, I think it's per year. And so first thing is that if we pay, no user from Orchard would have to pay. That's the good thing. Okay. The issue is that when people do some analysis of all their dependencies, they will find JSONPath.net and they will see they need to pay, and they won't be sure that they need to pay or not. and they will say, okay, we can't use that because it has something that will be a pain in the ass for us, so it might be an issue. So that's kind of still a problem. Even if we think they don't have to pay, they might think they have to pay, or they might get flagged. Like that's an issue we have at Microsoft. Like in theory, Microsoft will have to pay once for the whole Microsoft, but we are pretty sure that every team has their own package management, and they will all think they have to pay, and they will all pay JSON schema.net or JSON path.net. So that's a problem. In theory, we should pay yesterday, because I think it was like the 2nd of February, 1st.
So there's a criteria though. Your project needs to make revenue. So Orchard Core is not making any revenue. So I don't think we actually fall under that.
Yeah, but somebody that's consuming Orchard might be creating revenue
Directly.
Aren't you saying, Sebastian, that it's only about direct dependencies? So consumer
Donate Foundation is making revenue.
Okay, that's true.
So I don't know. It's also there is no. The author said there is no verification. It's on self-denunciation venue. Like they won't check, they won't prevent you, they won't sue you. They just want you to participate, right? So, yeah. So right now the solution will be like, I will send the $10 support and say this is for the Orchard Core for the year 2026, and then to be nice, right? The same way we sponsor contributors, at least for now, probably. But yeah, we need to think about it. Like, do we need JSON path.net? I'm sure we don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe
yeah,
one line of.
But the thing is, even if you pay for it, does that mean any other project that is using Orchard?
Yeah. They won't have to. We assume that the owner is the Net Foundation and we pay once. And that's what they say. They don't want the, yeah.
But what happens,
again, yeah.
Yeah, but what happens if you have a project based on Orchard Core, but you also use JSON path.net code directly in your project? Then
it's your responsibility.
Then you need to pay, right?
I don't know.
I think
you can say no. Let's say no,
barrier.
and nobody will blame you because we pay, and nobody will go after you. That's fine. But my concern is that you don't know, and people will spend more time thinking, do we have to? And the cost of just thinking that they have to is already a pain and worth $10. And every customer who cares will have this issue.
That's a barrier.
And historically, we have always used free and open source projects in Orchard all the time on purpose, and check the license and everything, because we don't want to pin our users to paying fees or whatever. So if we decide to find a way to remove JSON path.net, totally fine. If we decide to pay for $10 and tell people, hey, by the way, we paid for you, totally fine. Whoever comes first or second.
Or
whatever.
someone can just fork it and maintain it. Does that work?
Again, I'm not sure it would be the same reason as the version number, right? Which I'm not sure it is. Like maybe the license today says no, you can't do that. I don't know.
Just ask AI to regenerate.
And if you really don't want to pay, don't pay,
because
they won't come after you. So. So many options. Yeah, we need to do something, at least document the fact that we paid. That will be the first thing to do. And then if someone comes with an option that is use a different library, remove that because we don't need it actually, or we can replace that by some small parser, or implement another library, fine. But it's not just JSON path.net, it's also JSON schema.net, it's other things what we might use indirectly. We have to check. Let's do a PR fight and we'll see what we can do with that.
Yeah, I can ask the maintainer for some clarifications. And until then, we can just revert this pull request, obviously. By the way, that project is also under the umbrella of the foundations. So this should be simple to fix, but refers to the discussion about the .NET Foundation from 2 weeks ago. I will get in touch with them, ask for some clarifications, and we'll see. In any case, I don't think it's an option to not pay the maintenance fee when we are actually obligated to or asked to do that, because ethics, even if they don't sue us or .NET Foundation.
Well, .NET Foundation would have to sue itself.
That would be interesting to stir up the pot a little bit.
At least something happens.
And finally, update minor dependency versions. This one, no issues with that. So demo, Mark.
All right.
Smooth voice. Whoa.
Let me share the correct window. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Was it a yes?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So today I want to show you an agent skill I created over the Christmas holiday. And this is capable of helping you with a lot of theming related tasks, starting from implementing appropriate shape templates with correct alternates. It can update recipes, and it can even create workflows, but at least I was able to create workflow with them. But there's a lot of feature in this, and let me go into details in just a second. So initially, when I started working on it, I wasn't aware there's a thing called agent skill. I'm using Codex. Probably cloud users were already aware that agent skill is a thing. So I was like, I wanted to re-implement my own personal website, and I was really annoyed that agents still can't really implement Orchard core shapes, recipes reliably without hallucinations. Obviously, one of the reasons is that the documentation is not ideal for them to consume and learn stuff. An option would be to let the agent explore the Orchard core source itself and figure stuff out, but well, that's a lot of context window and money to spend. So I was thinking, how about recreating the documentation brick by brick and optimize it for agents? And this is what I did. It wasn't an agent skill back then, but funny enough, the agent skill became a wide standard just 3 days ago before I started that project. So I quickly transitioned to agent skills, which is basically just means that I have a skills.md, but the heart of this solution is this taskmap.md file. This is something that the agent must read and consume all the time, and it gives, well, a map to the agents to different types of scenarios that the user might ask. Like, for example, create a content type part and field definitions, or determine the template language, use particular templates to create shapes and things like these. It can even connect to the database. It can use the SQL. It has a script that can consume the SQLite database, and it can grab content items, so you can export content items to recipes without using deployment plans, which is really convenient. It knows backpart. It knows how resources work. And the way I built this by big, obviously, is I told my agent to, when I had an actual task to implement a liquid template or I don't know, I told the agent to discover all the related information. For example, discover all the liquid filters and put everything into an agent optimized, small and digestible Markdown template, which you can see here, for example, for the liquid filter. So from now on, the agent will correctly use liquid tags and liquid filters. Same goes for every other piece of knowledge that I had to use during the development of my personal site. Like, for example, knowledge about backpart, flow part. It knows about the block system, actually. And there's a lot more. I will just quickly show, for example, my website that you will understand what I built. So this is like a development version. It's not live yet, so every content is like AI generated, so it's nothing final here. But what you can see here is like a very generic content heavy website that can be for an agency, or it can be for even a blog, for example. So what you can see here is a header menu. Oh, and just to clarify, this website was completely generated by AI. So like 99% of it was generated by AI agent. Every piece of code, every piece of styling, everything was done by agents, and it was surprisingly efficient. So, I mean, not in terms of context window, but it was efficient in a sense that it produced reliable code thanks to the agent skill. So what you can see here, a bunch of blocks and widgets. So I learned a lot from Buzz demo on the Harvest, and I implemented it on my own way, obviously. But what's important here is that we have these sections, blocks with a lot of backpart and stuff. So this knowledge must be known by the agent to efficiently recreate those. We have a block here, obviously, with a lot of sample data. What it means from the agent's perspective, it's a content item with a list part, and it must implement its a display shape and the list parts shape. So, and of course the summary shape of the blog post. So every related component to implement is documented and guided in the agent skill. So when you ask the agent to implement the override for this blog post, hopefully it will understand and implement everything without hallucination. Pagination is also a topic that's not always obvious how to do it, but I did my best to include all of this documentation as well. We have a contact form here, which involves a separate type of content type for this page, and forms widgets. So this is forms widget. I added forms widget related information to the agent skill as well. And the workflow was implemented by agent as well. Just to clarify, as mentioned, I was building it brick by brick. So I wouldn't say this is complete. So I wouldn't be confident saying that you can implement a completely different and more complex workflow. Whatever is in the agent skill is the result of my work. So say I asked the agent to implement something. It implemented it like 50% was correct, 50% was not correct. And it was not correct only because the related information was not available in the agent skill. So I told the agent to put all this stuff into the documentation for the references, and it did. And next time, with a completely different session, it was able to consume it and did everything correctly. So yeah, just a quick overview of this website. And obviously, this is important to show the admin UI because it's not just like an HTML widget. As I told Drew, it has named backparts. It has properly managed UX here. It uses the placements feature to organize things to different tabs. And yeah, so a lot of named backparts and stuff like these. Yeah, let me share my another window. I actually forgot to show something, but anyway, before the meeting, I created a prompt that I could show you. So this was the prompt, so I will read it. Using the Orchard Core theming agent skill, add the new test page using the page content type and add the link to the alias main menu. Then create 2 new content types, scenario planner, which is a widget with heading, intro fields, and the backpart for the scenario items, and of course create the scenario item with these kind of fields. Implement the liquid template for the scenario planner and render the nested scenario item cards. Use the existing Tailwind for design and add 1 working example inside this text section block of the test page. So this is an existing content item type for the page, and create 1 particular item and add a text section, which is already an existing block. And inside that, well, it's my type of interpretation of the block system, but it has nested widgets. But yeah, so that was it. Basically, it created 2 widgets and put it into a block. And the content types and content items should go to the export recipe. So if you realize, I wrapped a lot of tasks here. It's a huge prompt. I don't advise you to use such a huge prompt unless you have well, a smart agent. And for that matter, I actually use GPT 5.2 codex with high reasoning. And I can confidently say that it can be efficient. The result of other models, especially if it comes to VS Code agents, the Copilot, even with similar models, results might vary. So still, it will be something that you can use, probably way more than you could use before. It's helpful, but it's working, at least with this agent model. As you can see, what happened by the agent, it read the skill.md as usual. It recognized the agent skill, and as it was instructed, it read the task map, and then it started to discover all the related documentation for the agent, like recipe content, ID generation, because there's a script for generating actual IDs, containers for the back part, liquid shapes to understand what's going on, fields to understand what the content model is for particular fields, like text field, that includes settings as well, field settings. Then it started to review all my code, so it understands what the styling is and how we have implemented the stuff. Well, this is also affects how efficient the AI, because I already have a pre-built website, so it can learn from it, but still with blank canvas, it can be efficient too. So yeah, it started to read the export recipe, which is multiple thousands of line. I should split that, but anyway, it's still digestible for the AI. And if we jump a little bit, we will see that it generated the related 3 content IDs, and yeah, and finally it started implementing stuff. So it implemented the shape override for the scenario planner widget, which you can see here. There are minor stuff that you might forget when you override widgets. For example, it's advised to put the widget classes into the wrapper, otherwise flow part will not work. So agent is reminded to do that for widget stereotypes. And yeah, it uses, it knows that we use the Markdown. Previously, I didn't specify it, but it figured out that Markdown should be used, so it knows how to render Markdown fields and text. And yeah, so basically this shape is properly implemented. And as for the export recipe, we can see that yeah, we can see that the related content types were created with the proper syntax. And yeah, it's here, all the content, all the related content type, and the content item as well. And what's really cool here is that it used the content item ID only for the parent content item, and for less important IDs, it still used the JavaScript comment, or yeah, for generating unique IDs. And same goes for the nested items, because those IDs doesn't really matter. Yeah, so that's it. Just a quick look again with my browser. So this was the test page that it generated with this prompt. This is entirely even the text is entirely AI generated. It used the styling that we expected. By the way, I used Tailwind 4, and for that I also created an agent skill. You can see this here. I won't go into details. Zoltan will share the links. Discover it if you want, but basically it uses the Tailwind official docs to know how to implement Tailwind 4, because even now agents prefer Tailwind 3. Yeah, so that's it. Here is the agent skill. It's really easy to install it. There's some guide about how to prompt efficiently, but this is like common sense when it comes to using agents. But otherwise, here are a few examples that you can try out. And I would be happy if you could open like issues, pull requests, even with new knowledge that you would add for your scenarios. But for my work and any future work in Lombiq, we will use this, and it's really cool. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions.
Everyone's asleep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think Jack had a question in the chat, if you want to answer that.
Who's Jack? Did we allow Jack to join the meeting?
Chat.
I don't know, Jack.
Jack. When the agent is in its planning mode and it has to read all of this, does it use the large amount of... Yes, about tokens, it uses a lot. I usually run out of context window after 4 or 5 large tasks, and that's unfortunate, but that happens. It still remains efficient even after that, and with the ChatGPT subscription, I get plenty of usage, so that's not really an issue. But I can understand if API keys or other models are used, it can be a problem. But even I did my best to optimize everything, and even this.
I don't believe you, because when I see the amount of things, like I see 10 files. Oh, by the way, it's per folder. Then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 folder. Did you make your best?
Exactly.
I'm sure
I did my best. Yeah, and you can read the skill.md. It's for the agent, but you can read it as well. It tells it how to use it. Like, for example, path A must match the task in the task map.md, or just do exploration. And what I did in order to optimize it is it should read all the index files. Like, what's the purpose of this folder?
I mean, I wonder if when you use a skill, it will have to send everything for the skill. When you invoke a skill, it will download all the skills, well, all the documents and references for the skill. I don't think it's just, oh, let's read the first one and see if I need the second file or the third file. No, it sends the skill. That's why you create skills. So you don't have a main agents.md that sends everything. You create skills to send just silos of data. And in this case, I believe it will send the whole skill.
What do you mean by send?
Send to the agent.
I put it into the context.
I mean,
Yes.
the agent doesn't read all of them. As far as I know, the agent only reads the skill.md, and that's the only file it reads. This is what I experienced, and this is what I read everywhere. So
yes, but when you invoke the skill, it reads that, and the skill itself has references, right? At the bottom, you have the references. By sending that, it will tell you back, then give me the references, and it will send the references. That's the whole skill.
Yeah,
what's the point of referencing something if you don't need to send the thing?
What I saw,
I can check.
Yeah,
because
please.
I will enable the login Copilot, but I'm pretty sure, which is not a problem. That's by design. And then if we want to split skills, we can split skill. And you decided to put everything there for the module. And maybe that's required. It's just, as I think was the question, Jack, like, what's the cost of having such a big skill?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good point. But again, what I saw with Copilot, it read only 4 or 5 files. That means that only read that, so didn't read all of that. So those didn't put it in the context memory.
Do you not store these files in a vector, like in memory vector database, and then do?
No, that's not how it works.
No, not sure about that.
That's not RAG. That's agent usage, like, and it's even worse, Mike. Whenever you, for instance, if you do a chat with Copilot and you type a new prompt, the whole history of your chats and the responses will be sent back to the server, analyzed again. It's
correct,
stateless.
and that's why you have X amount that you send. Hey, send the last 10, 15, or whatever.
Okay, but yeah, so there is no state on the server side for these agents, on-demand agents. They are not.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, part of the agent, you could consume all these files, put them in an in-memory vector database, and then do a relatively search to pick up whatever, like if the relative information are in file parts.md, you'll pick up the relative data, and then you provide that in the context, which is RAG. That's exactly what RAG is.
That's not how skills work. So that's not a skill then. That's not how skills work. And we don't decide how skills work. And that's the standard. So all the agents will work the same way.
By the way, it's a really good point. I think to optimize it even more, because that's obviously an issue if everything fills the context memory. And also, I was considering splitting it up to multiple skills, but based on my research, and that research was done by obviously AI, it wouldn't have been more efficient, but less.
By the way, I was going to ask about the name of the skill, and that kind of leads into the same discussion. So right now it's called Orchard Core theming, but there's a lot of things that you can do with this agent skill that has nothing to do with theming. So, and if splitting up actually helps. So the agent will be able to select that, I need the, I don't know, reading content definition and recipe definition skill, but I don't need liquid and razor for what I'm going to do. Then the context window, if the context window will definitely be smaller because of that, and then you will be able to go further with your prompts.
Elquin says that in the chat that it will read only the reference files if required. So
Exactly.
the metadata for sure. I have a request because it needs to know if it can use the skill. Then loading the skill MD file on demand that is expected, and then only external resources. That's what Elquin says. On
exactly.
demand.
That's for Claude. I don't know how the ecosystems are using the skills.
And that's something we can check. Like I know with Copilot, there is a debug level that we can see directly from VS Code, for instance, to see what exactly is sent over the wire and what the agent is asking for, like files. And so we can see that. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you.
I share my screen because it's related to a PR I made. Well, you made that thing before I made the PR, and then you saw my PR and you said, hey, by the way, I'm working on something. So actually this here, pull request, create agent skills. So I made small skills. So, but the idea was to have skills inside Orchard Core for mostly us, for the devs, okay? So that's why they are under agent skills, because the goal is that when you clone Orchard, you have access to these skills. And I made 3 skills, yours being one of them, but yours being much better because it's a small skill. So tester, the goal was to have a tester one first, and then module creator and a theme creator. And also updating this one to remove everything that could be extracted into a skill from this one. So instead of having the main agents MD having everything, when you don't need that, now it's 3 different skills. So most of the code here from HSMD has been extracted to a skill. Okay, and tester will explain specifically how to go through the setup, how to debug Orchard, even like created a random port, storing the random port in a file. And so if you have 2 sessions running, they won't collide. How to use Playwright CLI also as a dependent skill, so it can test the app or use it for the setup wizard. So that's the idea. So first create the infrastructure, the hierarchy, to have a skills folder, which I updated this morning with .agent skills. I created with GitHub skills, but you could use .codex skills, .cloud skills, and .github skills, so the 3 of them. But since today Copilot supports .agents, Codex supports .agents, and I believe if it's not the case already, Cloud will soon support .agents. So I decided to put it in this folder, and all the tools will understand that eventually. That's it. So that's the PR. So yeah, it will probably evolve into 100 files, or in the meantime use Mark's better theme creator skill. And maybe we have more skills over time, okay? But that works. I did some things. And I like the tester because you do a feature or you see a PR or an issue, you can just say, use the Orchard Core tester skill to verify the PR is working, the issue can be reproduced, or your feature is doing what you expect and take screenshots and everything. So that's very nice to have validation. That's it. So we are done. Questions, comments? Next year,
Does
while
the model automatically follow that .agent skills structure? Is that
when
like
you say the model,
naming
yeah,
convention?
yeah, your local tooling like Copilot, Codex, Claude, whatever, will download it. So for instance, here, if I go to Orchard Core,
No, I mean, is that folder structure, is that defined somewhere?
it's a standard. If you go to agentskills.md, agentskills.md, the same way you could do agents.md, no, agentskills.com, agentskills.md, here. And a mark pointed to that site. It will tell you what to write, how to write the files, and how to organize your folders. Okay. And there is the same thing with agents.md for the main file. And then
Okay, yeah. So it follows the it's a standard thing that it follows.
yeah. And when you start
Gotcha.
like Copilot or Claude or Codex, whatever, or VS Code, whatever, and you are in the folder, then it will show you, hey, you have these 3 skills. These ones, they are my personal skill I put in my own folder and I configure Copilot with, but these ones were loaded because they're part of the repo. Okay. And
Yeah. It takes every single file and it converts it to an AI function is what it does.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, done, time. Thanks everyone. And, I was interrupted. So Nick, I saw your PR about blocks because I was wondering if it was merged. So I went on the PRs list and I see it's almost merged. It's ready. So we just need to merge it now.
Yeah, there's a merge conflict there, so I've got to sort that out. And I was going to try and remove the dependency of jQuery,
Cool.
but in the flows module anyway, we've got lots of dependencies on jQuery everywhere else. So I thought that might be best as a separate PR afterwards. So I'll sort the merge conflict out and get that pushed up so we can get that in.
I thought about removing jQuery completely during 3 seconds for 3 seconds. Like, is it a thing we could do? Probably, but I'm not sure what components use jQuery today. Like
Mostly
the
sortable
flow editor and everything. I don't know what to use. I don't remember.
Yeah. There's I think it's just the sorting that uses the
Okay.
jQuery dependency. So
Cool. Thank you.
Sebastian, do you have an answer to the question I sent you about the targets project or no?
I saw the thing and I don't remember. JT owned that, and I remember very few of how it works. And
Yeah, I'm just curious if anyone knows.
honestly, I'm sure you will get better answers from the agent than any of us. Just looking at the thing and creating a document explaining and adding it to the doc. So if you still have the thing, we can run it together. I'll send all my tokens to the best agent and we'll get the information.
I tried.
I have all the tokens. It's super. I go into code bases that are super complex or in other languages, and it's learning so much. It's crazy. It shows you what it does, and even for my code, I'm like, I didn't know I did that, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So we should try it. Cool. All good.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. See you Thursday.
Thank you.
Or next week.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Cheers.